Certainly. Here's a 500-word story-style article on the topic. Don't waste your hard-earned savings on these items in retirement. Written with a personal and conversational tone. Don't waste your hard-earned savings on these items in retirement. When I retired at 67, I thought I had it all figured out. I'd worked for over 4 decades, saved diligently, and looked forward to finally enjoying the life I had put on hold for so long. The first year felt like a victory lap. Trips, hobbies, and long lunches with friends. But before I knew it, my savings were shrinking faster than I expected. That's when I had to take a hard look at where my money was actually going. And the truth? I was wasting it on things that didn't matter. The first trap I fell into was expensive new gadgets. I thought I needed the latest smartphone, a fancy tablet, and even a high-end coffee machine. But after the novelty wore off, they mostly sat unused. What I really needed was reliability, not flash. That realization saved me hundreds. Next came subscription overload. I had signed up for so many streaming services, newsletters, and monthly clubs that I didn't even use. $10 here, 15 there. It all added up. Once I canceled the extras, my monthly expenses dropped significantly, and I didn't even miss them. But the biggest mistake? Spoiling the grandkids too much. I loved them more than anything, and it felt good to be the fun grandparent who bought toys and treated them to outings. But I realized I was spending money to feel needed. What they valued more was time with me, puzzles, baking cookies, listening to stories. Those moments were priceless and free. Another pitfall was impulse travel and luxury upgrades. I convinced myself that retirement meant treating myself. And while I don't regret traveling, I learned that first-class flights and resort packages weren't necessary to enjoy a meaningful trip. I started focusing on experiences over amenities, road trips, national parks, and visiting old friends. The memories were just as sweet without the steep price tag. Then there were extended warranties and unnecessary insurance policies. Every store pushed one, and for a while, I bought into the fear. But after speaking to a financial advisor, I realized that most warranties rarely pay off. It was better to keep an emergency fund for actual repairs than to throw money at just-in-case scenarios that may never come. Retirement taught me a powerful lesson. Spending wisely is just as important as saving. Every dollar I don't waste adds peace of mind. I've come to value simplicity, security, and presence far more than material things. Now, my money goes toward what truly matters: my health, staying active, and creating moments that bring joy. If you're just starting retirement or thinking ahead, learn from my experience. Don't let habit or pressure push you into spending where you don't need to. Your savings are more than numbers in a bank. They're your freedom. Use them to live well, not just to spend freely. Retirement is your reward. Make every dollar count. Would you like a short clip of this story narrated in a natural-sounding voice? I can generate one for you. Certainly. Here's a follow-up 500-word paragraph that continues the story, diving deeper into the mindset shift that helped this retiree protect and grow their savings in smarter ways. After that financial wake-up call, I made it my mission to become a more mindful spender. Retirement didn't have to mean cutting out everything joyful. It just meant being smart about what truly added value to my life. I began reevaluating my priorities and spending habits, not from a place of guilt, but from a place of empowerment. For example, I realized that eating out 3 or 4 times a week wasn't as satisfying as I thought. The food was fine, But the expense wasn't. I rediscovered my love of cooking. Simple meals, made from scratch, shared with friends, or enjoyed while listening to my favorite music. Not only did this save me a good chunk of money each month, but it also gave me a new daily routine to enjoy. I also took a long look at my car. I'd been leasing a newer model with all the bells and whistles because I thought it was safer and more reliable. But the monthly payments, insurance, and maintenance were draining my retirement income. When the lease ended, I downsized to a gently used, fuel-efficient vehicle. No car payment, lower insurance, and still dependable. That one decision alone freed up more cash for travel and hobbies that truly fulfilled me. Speaking of hobbies, I learned to be cautious about those too. At first, I jumped into every new class, club, and activity that came my way. Ceramics, photography, woodworking. Some of them stuck, but many didn't. I spent a small fortune on supplies I barely used. Now, I give myself a 30-day rule. If I'm still excited about the idea after a month, I'll invest. Until then, I borrow supplies, join a free trial, or attend as a guest. It saved me money and clutter. Another important shift was in how I viewed gifting and giving. Like many retirees, I wanted to be generous with family, causes, and community. But I had to remind myself that I couldn't give from an empty wallet. I created a giving budget, a specific amount set aside each month for birthday gifts, donations, or helping loved ones. It kept my generosity in check while still allowing me to show up meaningfully for others. The surprise was, no one noticed the dollar amounts. They noticed the thought, the time, the love behind it. Lastly, I stopped comparing myself to others. Retirement looks different for everyone. Some friends took cruises and redid their kitchens, others downsized and moved to the country. I learned that contentment isn't about having more, it's about having enough. And I had enough. More than enough. Once I stopped letting outside expectations dictate how I spent my money. Now, my savings aren't just lasting. They're working for me. I've got a small emergency fund, a bit invested conservatively, and most importantly, peace of mind. I sleep better knowing I'm not frittering away what took me a lifetime to build. My advice: don't be afraid to enjoy retirement, but make sure you're enjoying it on your terms, not someone else's idea of success. You earned this. Make it last. Would you like a brief voiceover clip using part of this expanded story? I can help you turn it into a spoken message. Absolutely. Here's a final 200-word paragraph to round out the story, focusing on legacy, peace of mind, and financial wisdom in retirement. One of the most comforting parts of becoming a smarter spender in retirement has been knowing that I'm not just protecting my present, I'm preserving a legacy for my family. I don't mean a massive inheritance or anything extravagant. I mean the security of knowing my affairs are in order, my debts are low, and my savings will last as long as I do. That brings me more peace than any luxury purchase ever could. I've even had open conversations with my children about my finances and wishes, something I once avoided out of discomfort. But now, those talks have brought us closer. They know what matters to me, and I know they're not expecting me to fund their futures, just to live mine well. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Retirement isn't about how much you spend, but how well you live within your means. Every dollar saved from impulse or unnecessary spending is a dollar I can put toward the life I truly want, one filled with health, memories, and peace. So take it from someone who learned the hard way. Guard your savings wisely, spend with intention, and enjoy the freedom you worked so hard to earn. You deserve it. Would you like me to turn two sentences from this into a voiceover clip?